How do we listen to our body? How can we tune into the intelligence that our body is trying to tell us, that's trying to teach us in each moment? See, our body is always sending us indications of information, indications of our next steps, indications of the food we need to eat, the emotions we need to process. It's telling us so much, but we tend to not listen. This is a big thing in society. We don't listen to our body. We don't listen to our intuition, which is coming through in our body, in our gut, in our heart, and also from our brain. But very simple is being able to tune into your body to see what indications is your body trying to share to you. And we do this. It's very simple when we need to go to the toilet. Like if we need to go take a piss or go to the toilet, we listen to that. Most people, at least. I know a lot of people still have a lot of digestion issues or constipation because they don't listen to their body. They don't go to the toilet when they actually need to go to the toilet, or they're not eating the right foods. But from majority, people do listen when they need to go to the toilet. They usually go to the toilet. But we get so caught up in this world with being in clockwork, like having a schedule for things. Like, this is the time for me to sleep. This is the time for me to eat. This is the time for me to laugh. This is the time for me to rest. This is the time for me to dance and play. So we have all these schedules that we try and put in place, which, I get it, it can be helpful. But our body knows when we need to laugh. Our body knows when we need to eat. Our body knows what to eat as well. A lot of people are reading into fads and diets, and they read books, and it's great to get knowledge, fantastic. But a lot of us know deep down our body has this intelligence, and there's methods of ways that you can connect to your body to see what foods resonate with your energy field. There's ways that you can test and do muscle testing to see what foods are right for you in each moment too, because things change. So you can actually, tune into your body and see what type of foods you need to eat for that day. And also what type of emotions. So these emotions that come up, they come up in their indicators that something may be wrong, something needs to be changed, something needs to be shifted. They're just indicators. And these emotions may come through as stress, they may come through as anxiety, depression. They may come in many different forms. Sadness, grief, anger. And the problem is a lot of people identify with these. They become attached to these and they become a victim around it. And we need to simply just observe it. We need to become aware of the indicators that our body is trying to show us. What emotions is our body trying to show us? What is happening? Why? What's it trying to teach me? What do I need to change? And we need to do this. We need to be aware. Just like you're in a plane, if you're in a cockpit and you're a pilot, and the indicators lights come on. And these indicator lights may be telling you something's wrong with one of the engines, something's happening, we're low on fuel. We need to observe these indicators. We can't freak out. Oh my God, the engine's happening. I'm going to identify with the cockpit and the indicators, and I'm going to freak out and become a victim. No, like, as a pilot, you stay calm. And this is how when we cultivate this awareness and this calm space of observation, and we cultivate it through meditation and through spiritual practices to help us disidentify from what we are experiencing, to help us create space between the experience and the experiencer. Like the pilot in the cockpit. The pilot can't become aware, the pilot can't identify with the indicators. He has to separate himself from the indicators to stay calm, stay centered, see the lights that are coming on, the indicator lights, and make the necessary changes. And we need to do this with our life. We need to do this with our emotions, with our stress, our anxiety, or whatever emotion it may come up for you. We need to do this. We need to tune into our body. Step out of this numbing phase that a lot of society are in, the numbing, the suppressing, the distracting, and that, oh, I don't want to feel any of these indicators. You need to allow yourself to feel these indicators. Your body is trying to show you something. There's an intelligence there. And we need to listen. A lot of people just simply aren't listening. There's lots of people that are avoiding, they take all these stimulants, Red Bull or coffee, or they may eat junk food, just things to try and keep them up, keep them awake. And their body's simply just saying to rest. You're tired, rest. And we fight against this. We fight against the indicators. Could you imagine a pilot fighting against all the indicator lights that come up, saying, no, I don't agree with that. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to ignore that indicator light. What's going to happen? Eventually that plane's going to go through a lot of trouble, and it may even not be able to fly properly. It may even have a crash. This is the same with our body, and this is why people crash metaphorically in life. We crash, we have breakdowns, because we don't allow ourselves to tune into our indicators, our emotional indicators. And when we don't allow ourselves to tune into them, we don't see them, we don't accommodate to them, we don't make the necessary changes, we don't give them our attention. This is when we break down. This is when we eventually crash and metaphorically, go through that big wake-up call, like, oh wow, like I've got a lot of shit that it's coming up for me. So very simply, you can tune into your body, and you can do this through meditation. You can allow yourself to just feel what's coming up. Is there any pain in your body? And over time, if the longer you sit, you'll notice more things will come up that need attention, more indicator lights. This is information trying to come through to you. It's trying to show you something, just like a child trying to speak his concerns to a parent. You can't ignore the child. Eventually the child is going to get more angry, and his needs need to be more met. So we need to meet our metaphorical child, need to meet our inner child's needs, and by feeling into the body, what is required, what do we need? And this can come down to what I need to eat. What is required of me today? What is my body calling for me today to do? Is it calling for me to work more? Is it calling for me to rest more? Is it calling for me to be in nature? Is it calling for me to be around friends and family? Or is it calling for me to be alone? And you can use this when it comes to diet. If you're not knowing what to eat that day, and you're trying to follow a healthy routine, you tune into your body. Ask your gut, what does your gut need to eat? You can do this through meditation. And see, your gut might just want fruit that day. It might just want to drink water. And just by tuning into that intelligence of your body, you'll start to live a lot better life. You'll start to bring in the right foods that you need to eat. You'll start to clear out and really attend to those emotional indicators that just need your attention. You don't need to become a victim of them. You don't need to numb them or suppress them either. And I think that's what most people, they get a bit afraid of when they come up. It's like, no, I shouldn't be feeling this. It's like, no, you're allowed to feel this. Just see what it wants. What does it want from you? And it will pass. It will eventually pass, but sometimes it won't pass if we don't attend that indicator light. What happens is, if we don't attend it, it just gets stuffed down and the problem doesn't get cleared. We don't attend to the problem. We just ignore it. And then the indicator lights keep building. Problems here, problems there, problems there. And we don't attend to them. They get building and building. And again, what happens? Our plane crashes, metaphorically. We crash. We go through this, breakdown. Things get like too much for us. And for some people, they need that. They need that breaking point for them to realize they need to make a change. But it doesn't have to get to that point. We can regularly check into our body. We can regularly check in with our emotions. We can regularly check in with the indicators. Attend to them, see them, nurture them, give them love, give them our attention. make the changes, make the shifts, and then they don't build up. This is how we live a better life. This is how we go through constantly cleansing, constantly clearing our emotions, and then we don't build up stored stress, stored anger. We allow it to be expressed. We don't identify with it though. That's what a lot of people do though. They say, oh, I'm going to express my emotions and I'm allowed to feel negative. It's like, okay, it's okay to feel like that, but if you're just adamantly always being negative and always being toxic, then you probably need to work on that also and start to bring in some more positive traits. There's areas you can work in increasing your vibration. So it's not a cop-out for you to always be in the negative so that you can always feel your emotions. Like, oh, I'm feeling my emotions, I'm feeling angry right now. It's like, that's a bit different. But we do want to allow ourselves to tune in and regularly sit with ourselves. It's very different to always being a negative person. Very different. This is very, very different. So tune into your body, and we can get caught up in these schedules and time frames of when we need to do things. Now is the time for me to holiday, now is the time for me to rest. But we can move out of this time frame period and this scheduling and come more into our intuitive nature. What does our body need right now or today? What do we need to do today? What foods do we need to eat today? And tuning into that, tuning into the intelligence of that. And when you tune into that, you'll start to see, when you create this relationship with your body, you listen to your body will start to respond to you more and bring you more into alignment. So just a message for today, and I hope you got a lot out of the video, to tune into your emotions. They're just indicators. They're trying to show you something and reveal some information. They want to help you. But what happens is we stuff them down, we ignore the indicators, we suppress, we distract, we numb, and we don't listen to our body. And our body knows what's best. It's very important. And honor that. Nothing wrong if you need to sleep for a couple of days. Nothing wrong if you need to be alone. Nothing wrong if you need to be around others. We need to step out of the mind and the attachment to the way things should be and step more into our body, into our intuitive nature, and feel and sense and know what is right for us. Eat what is right for us. We know deep down what we need to eat. We know. We don't need no one telling us. We don't need a nutritionist. It can be helpful to get advice, for sure. But, deep down we do know what we need to eat and what foods are good for us and what isn't. And if we can listen to that, we will live a lot healthier life. If we can check in with our emotions, create that space, be in a space of observation, space of awareness, then we don't react to what we're experiencing, we don't become what we experience, we don't identify with what we experience. We create space and we realize what we are experiencing is not what we are, it's just what we are observing in our field. So allow yourself to sit with yourself, see what needs to be felt, see what needs to be expressed, see what indicators that your body is trying to share to you that you're not listening, you're not opening up into, that you're pushing aside. Because eventually, if you keep ignoring these indicator lights, what's going to happen? You're going to crash. You're going to have a breakdown. They're going to come up. You can't ignore the indicators. You can't ignore them. If we ignore them, they're just going to pile up, just like a mailbox. They're just going to keep piling up messages and messages, and if you don't go through, read them, clear them, they're just going to keep building up and building up, and we don't want this. So I encourage you to tune into your body. I encourage you to allow yourself to feel, to see what indicators are there for you, and trust your intuition. See what foods you need to eat for that day. Tune into your body, see what I need to do today? Do I need to run? Do I need to go to the gym and lift heavy weights? Do I need to do yoga? Do I need to meditate? Do I need to slow down? Do I need to go to a nightclub? Tune into the intelligence of your intuition and your body, and it knows best. It knows best beyond all these labels, beyond all these traditions and dogmatic beliefs, beyond all of the whatever it may be that you're learning that you think is right, the A to B, C. Intuition's always changing. Intuition's always with the flow. Never gets stuck on labels and never gets stuck on structure. And we need to listen to this. Meditation can be very helpful, or it can just simply allow yourself to do no thing, do nothing. Allow yourself to sit with yourself. And I'm sure a lot of you haven't sit with yourself, haven't allowed yourself to sit properly with yourself. You may meditate for 20 minutes and treat it as an activity or a habit, or like I need to do this, like a to-do list, which is okay to initially bring in as a practice, because a lot of people probably need that to bring it in as a habit. But eventually, when you sit, you can sit for longer periods of time, have less expectations, and you can really allow for insights to come through. You can really allow for those deeper emotions and those indicators that have been really, really left behind and ignored. And when they come up, there's a tendency to suppress, to ignore, to distract, to not feel them. I get that. We're human, we don't want to feel them, but we need to understand why they're there. We need to fix the problem. Just like a pilot, when he's flying the plane, he doesn't want any problems to come up. He doesn't want engines to blow out. He doesn't want any issues with fuel leakage or whatever it may be in the plane, issues with electricity. But he can't ignore the indicator lights. He has to respond to them, even though they might do his head in, and it's an issue, and he has to deal with them. He can't ignore them. He needs to deal with them. So you need to deal with whatever emotions are there. You need to deal with whatever indicators are there for you. And when you deal with them, you will notice your life changing. You will notice there's nothing wrong with actually experiencing any of these emotions. The sadness, the anger, the anxiety, the depression, the stress. There's nothing wrong with experiencing them. The problem is we attach to them. And we stuff them down, and they don't go away, and they keep replaying. I used to experience anxiety 24/7, panic attacks. I experienced depression at one point, and it wasn't until I really understood what was happening to me energetically that I actually see the benefits in what I was experiencing. I seen what it was trying to teach me, where it was leading me, the changes in my life that needed to be made through me experiencing that. So they served me, and those indicator lights will serve you if you attend to them. So I hope you got a lot out of the video, and I hope you tune into your body, tune into that intelligence, that intuition, and you can really get massive benefits in your life. Peace.